Hey everybody, what's up? It's Tipping the Scales. I'm your girl, LaShayla, aka Shea Dawson.
LaShayla. And I'm your girl,
Meow.
Tamia, also known as T. What is up, Tippers?
Man, I recognize those earrings.
Do you like?
From our first in-person episode in Philly. Remember you got them from that lady?
Yeah, I loved her little jewelry. It was so cute.
I love that.
Yeah, I got some green ones for symbol of cannabis, like my favorite. So yeah,
Yep.
super excited.
And those are like what? Like pearl shells? Like the top of
a shell, right? Super
I love it.
cute. Where's
So
your
cute.
jewelry?
And you got your hair braided?
Yeah,
So
you
excited.
like? I got little tiny braids at the top.
Yeah, Dom, seriously, if you braid her hair one more time before I get mine done, I'm going to scream. So
sorry, I love you, Dom. I'll be back in 3-4 weeks. I'm going to get some small box braids next. But I try to switch it up. You like this? Like little
I love it.
tiny
I love
braids?
it.
Yeah.
I love it. Especially how you work out. I think it's perfect for that too.
See, that's what I need it for. And then it's like so easy. I think I'm gonna wear my hair braided for the entire winter. I don't know.
Remember, that was me before I moved to Atlanta. I had my hair braided all the time.
Well, that's why your hair, like you guys can't see it. Shea has a beautiful mane on top of her head, such gorgeous long hair. And I think I was talking to Dom about it. I think it's because you wore your hair braided for so long. Yeah,
it is. It totally is. And then I got it shaped. I got it shaped to my curls. Like it wasn't just all one big old afro. Like it actually shaped up. You know?
Yeah. So how was your Thanksgiving?
It was so good. Although we decided to do our own rendition of Thanksgiving. Instead of doing Thanksgiving and celebrating a man-made holiday, we did self-care giving, which is normalizing spending your personal time laughing, eating, relaxing, and joking, and not doing any heavy lifting. So we went to Jamaica, rented a villa and a chef, and it was phenomenal. So
how was yours? That. And it was good. What I have to ask because I'm a foodie. What did the chef make? What did you guys have to eat?
It's crazy how healthy you eat when you leave and go to countries that don't feed you crap.
A bunch of processed foods. Exactly.
Yes. Yep. So in the mornings we had fruit from actually the trees that were surrounding us. So that was really nice.
Love.
Right. And we had turkey bacon, turkey sausage, and then we had plantains. And then for dinner, we would switch it up. We had
jerk chicken.
We had jerk chicken for the day of Thanksgiving. We had jerk chicken. We had curry chicken. We had shrimp, rice. Rice and peas, which is the Jamaican rice, which is so bomb.
So good.
Plantains.
Cabbage.
Cabbage. The cabbage was so good.
Yeah.
And we had jerk salmon. That thing was so spicy. Oh my God. I think all of us were like sweating out of our ears, had fire coming out of our ears, but we couldn't stop eating it.
I love spicy food, so it has my name all
over. Ugh.
Love spicy food. Okay. No, but thanks for sharing that. And I love, I think sometimes people have to what they believe is traditional. Like you can set new standards, right? You can do things differently, shake it up. But at the end of the day, what matters most is spending that time with your families, which we can't ever get back. Like life is so short. So to be able to be amongst our families is an amazing thing. I was with Mikkel and family members in Arizona. Yay. So it was cool. My parents came down, his dad came down with his parents, and just a good time to being able to give Mikkel his parents and his grandparents. I just think it's hella cool. So it was really nice. I had a good time.
Yeah. Good tea. That sounds actually very wholesome and
right.
Feels like a Hallmark card.
Look, so
also, I saw the guys doing really, really well. I saw D-Book had 44 the other day. DeAndre Ayton had Player of the Week.
Oh, it was big.
I know him and Monty was having some struggles in the beginning, but now it looks like y'all are just clicking. So
it's good.
Shout out to the Suns.
Yeah, and look,
and your Sonny.
Yes, Mikkel's doing his thing, and I think sometimes it's those hard times that make you appreciate the good times even more, right?
Ooh, like you preaching early.
It's part of, we talked about that. It's like part of your journey. Those hard times will come, but think about, just have the end in mind, like the end goal in mind. And once you get there, it feels really good.
Yeah.
But, when I think about the holidays, I think about sometimes the holidays could be stressful for a variety of reasons. Like I'm such a holiday type of girl. Like I've always celebrated Christmas and not, in terms of tradition, what I love is just cooking for the holidays. I'm the definitely ultimate gift giver. So I love
Yes,
giving
you are.
gifts. I love just appreciating the holiday time. It means so much to me. It's special. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to bake cookies in the kitchen. I want to do all those things. I want to play Christmas carols. I love Mariah Carey's Christmas album. So those are the things that make me feel really good. But at the same time, I just think about so many other things. Like I remember, I always think back to where I came from because it helps me appreciate the blessing that I have even more.
Yeah.
So I think about the times when it was a struggle for me to get ready for the holidays when I have one child. I know there are plenty of parents, especially single parents that have more than one child. They have many children,
Yep.
and the more you have, the harder it is. But
Mm-hmm.
I was living paycheck to paycheck and just getting ready and just being anxious when I would get spoiled ass McKell's Christmas list with like 1,000 things on there. I would, I want to give him everything he asked
Of
for.
course. Of course.
So I just remember those holidays being super duper stressful because I was trying so
I know.
hard to make ends meet. And I just wonder how other people are doing in that area.
Yeah, and the fact that the holidays are back to back, right?
Yeah.
Like you're expected to make this big meal
Yeah.
for your children, if you're a parent, or you head of household, whoever you are, and then also the gift giving part. And what if you have a large family? What if you
Yeah.
have, a huge tradition? So I could see how this time could be really, really stressful for some people as well. Um, I've certainly moved away from gift giving in certain ways, not to give gifts just to give gifts, but trying to give things throughout the year. And then when it calls for gifts to do that, I found that when I was giving gifts, it was gifts that weren't necessary, or like it was too much for me to uphold. And also I like to give good gifts too. So what I started doing instead of buying gifts is creating and writing things and doing more meaningful things. I have a friend who literally cries if you give her a meaningful gift or a creative gift instead of buying her
Oh,
something. And so I felt like, dang, her response to that really inspired me to start doing more creative gift giving. So I think there's a healthy balance. I could do a better job of I usually give money too. So I just say I've had a lot of struggle with holidays these um years, just getting
yeah.
older again. Like I'm going through all these shifts. I don't know what it is, but I could also see how the pressure of losing people
Mhm.
comes into play. I could see the pressure of not having the home that you feel is sufficient to host or
Yeah.
to have people over, right? I could see just burnout or just, wanting to enjoy the holiday. Maybe you're the type A personality or you're the one always doing stuff and it'd be nice to
Yeah.
have something done for you, right? So I think
Yeah.
about all those things as you intrigue my ideas about what these holidays are really about, you
Yeah.
know?
And, one of the things too, I was talking to a colleague and I loved her idea of gifting experiences opposed
Ooh,
to things, right?
that sounds like
So,
something I'd
what
like.
she's doing with her family is over a 7-day period. They're going to take 7 days during the traditional Christmas week
Yeah.
and create moments and experience. And one of the reasons why I love that is because with us working in sports, the reason why sports is just so when you go to those games and yeah, it's great cherry for whatever that team is. But what one of the things that you will never forget by going to any sports event is the memories and those experiences
Mhm.
that you share with the people who are there, right?
Mhm.
So she has 7 days. So one day they're going to go, it's her and her three sons and her husband. Their family are going to do a Chicago Bulls game over one day.
Mm.
Another day they're going to go to a museum. Another day they're going to do, come and go out, feed the homeless. But it's going to be 7 days of spending time with each other, doing some fun things like going to basketball games and, but
Creating
it's
memories.
7 days. I think they're going to see a light show on one of those days. Like, but it's 7 days of creating amazing experiences with each
Yeah.
other. And I just think that is so rewarding. I think going away from that traditional I want this, I want that, and making it about spending very much meaningful time with one another. I just think that's awesome. So those are some of the things that, for those of you who may be strapped for cash or may need to prioritize the bank a little bit differently. And what I mean by that is sometimes it's not being strapped for cash. Sometimes it's about, being very intentional about how you're spending your money. So as you're prioritizing bills or whatever, you may say, okay, I need to pay my mortgage. I need to pay this. I need to pay that. Then going out and buying everyone gifts may not fit in the budget, but maybe you could do something differently, right? Maybe you could go visit a family member, make them a meal and just spend a day with them. Think about how impactful that is. Then you just buying them something that they may never use, but you're actually going to spend time with them, talk to them, go watch a movie with them, have laughter with one another. Like that to me is way more impactful. So those are just some quick ideas.
T, I think this is your topic. Like I really am like, wow, like that was really good. But I think that also reminded me of, like I was saying, like, I think I was giving gifts that were expensive and it was hard to top them each year, that I was getting like putting pressure on myself.
Yeah.
But I think that experience thing is actually a very viable option for those who are strapped for cash, or maybe you don't see people frequently, but you can say, hey, for Christmas, do you mind if I come? And it doesn't have to be on the day of Christmas. It could be just throughout the break, right? Just in the spirit of giving, like during that break. Yeah. So like, can I come and hang out and take you to dinner, or, something like that?
Yeah.
So that gives me really good ideas now that I'm like trying to revamp how I celebrate the holidays versus like putting the pressure on myself to buy iPads and Chanel glasses and all that other stuff.
What can you do that someone loves that, even making things is super cool. Like I know they have these classes where you can make candles, like they teach you how to pour the wax and you get the things, and you could probably spend about like $100 on supplies, but out of that $100, you can make a lot of different candles. And the fact that you've made it, put your stamp on it, say it's from you. I mean, that's just different than going to buy a smelly Yankee candle. Look, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but some candles I just can't take. They're so strong and I don't love them.
Yes,
but
some are horrible.
$30 on a candle where you can make it yourself, like those are just little small things that you could do that I think go a very long way.
No, I love that. This is we should have our own show specifically about how to give gifts.
Gifts giving, yeah.
I know, right? I think that's dope too, because like I remember when I was a kid, I made my mom a little coupon book. And because I didn't have money, obviously, I made a coupon book and it was like 1 ticket for a foot rub, or like 2 tickets for me to go to bed early, like stuff that she always wanted that annoyed me, or that I felt like she nagged, or that I just didn't do well, or take the trash out, or whatever the case may be. And she actually used them. It's like, how you give them and nobody uses them? She'd be like, oh, I got a coupon for a foot rub. I'd be like,
on deck tonight. Dinner served at 7:00. Please and thanks.
Literally. And she had to make 2 dinners actually, because my brother is a picky eater. So she would be like, so. But yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll make her one this holiday.
See?
Don't listen to this, Mom.
I'll take one because I got a lot of things I want.
Okay. I got you.
Okay. Another thing too, switching gears a little bit, because, while the holidays, of course, can be very fun and, exciting. And like I said, I love it. I'm a sucker for around this time of the year.
Me too.
But there are some people who may be struggling during this time of year. Like I think about my cousin Tashelle, who I talked about before. I lost my favorite Aunt Kathy early in the year. I miss her so much due to COVID. And it's her first time around. She loves the holidays like me. Actually, her birthday is on Christmas. So she is she hates that though, because everyone's like, happy birthday, Merry Christmas. Here's your gift.
Oh, I know.
She doesn't feel like she gets like separate gifts, but it's her first time without having her mom. And I know for a fact that we need to rally around her and go spend time with her over the holidays, because she's going to be missing her mom. So, for those of you who may be experiencing, having a holiday without someone in your life that you're used to having around, my advice would be to surround yourself around people that love you and that you love, and and make sure that you just have support, because the last thing you want to do is spend the holidays alone. Of course, the mind is very powerful, but the mind can also be very dangerous when you're sitting alone in your thoughts. So I would encourage you to, if you lost a loved one, then maybe spend some time with some other family members, and you can laugh and cry and joke and really spend time just thinking about that loved one and what they meant to you and what that person was to your family, and think about all the wonderful times that you guys spent holidays together. Because even for people who we lost, like, I'm talking about not having my brother and losing my brother very early.
Right.
It brings me joy to just be thankful that he was in my life for the period of time, because he blessed me and blessed others. But I think about the things that made me smile. I think about all his little corny jokes. I think about, he used to love Usher's song "You Got It Bad," and because he was in love with some chick, and he literally would play "You Got It Bad" over and over on repeat. You call right back.
And you call right back. Hey.
Yeah, over and over again. I'm like, Usher, I'm done with you in this song because of my brother. But I just say that to share that it's okay for you to reminisce, but don't do it alone, because sometimes you get lost in your thoughts, and just having other people around to support you will help you through this time.
Yeah. But also, too, if you don't have the people around that you love, but you have yourself, you love yourself a lot, right?
Yeah.
So spend time pampering yourself.
Yes.
Some of the things that I do when I feel sad, when I'm alone, or I don't have the people around that I want, I watch my favorite movies that create, memories where I know what I was doing when I was with those people, or create some like nostalgic moment. I have my favorite snacks, and I have like the best blanket.
Wait, what's your favorite snack?
My favorite snack, I love kettle corn, popcorn.
Oh,
ew. I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I would say around this time too, it's one of my favorites when I'm watching movies to eat popcorn. But
I love popcorn,
butter popcorn at home, I don't.
I like sweet popcorn. I like everything spicy.
I know you are spicy. But around this time, I do love me peppermint bark is like my favorite around this time.
Okay.
Ghirardelli makes like the best peppermint bark.
I love their dark chocolate.
Yes, the dark chocolate peppermint bark is so bomb. I love it.
Okay.
But yeah, I just surround myself with my favorite things, These are a few of my favorite
things.
Right? When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad. I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
I love that though. But Shea is 100% right. Do something special for yourself. Treat yourself to a massage if you can. Do something that you love to do, like that you could just appreciate and spend some alone time and make yourself happy. Make your favorite meal. I don't know. Food always warms the soul, right? But do something fun. Just don't make it, and it's okay to cry. I think crying is healing. I think
happy cries.
Yeah.
Happy. Do things that make you happy tears. Happy tears.
Happy tears.
Keep the spirits high.
Yes. Another thing too that you can do is, I love just, I don't know. I feel like being out in nature does something for me. So I know it's a little chilly now, but a good hike or a good walk in a park, I'm telling you, it's just so peaceful. It just sets a different ambience that you didn't have before. And if it's too cold, it's not your jam going out in the woods like me, then meditation is huge around this time of the year, just to reset and kind of thinking ahead, spending some alone time, like just spending time to just focus on trying to really appreciate something that you want to meditate about, because sometimes it's good to set your intentions about something. So that is another example of just something you can do to really help you during this time, or just compliment.
Yes.
What do you think?
Also, starting a creative project that will consume you and that like helps you just lock in.
Keep you focused. Yes.
Right? DIY projects, go to the store.
Oh, I love that.
Puzzles, follow alongs, any kind of things that you like starting a project during the holidays is definitely something to keep you distracted. If things aren't the way you want it, it's inexpensive, it's fun, it's creative, and you have something to look forward to each day. I know I've done that plenty of times before in college when I wasn't able to go home because I went to college in Pittsburgh, and obviously living in Cali is kind of far, it's expensive, so sometimes I didn't have the money, but I literally would start projects over the summer. That's super fun. And then now that we have social media and phones, I would say also just try to avoid looking on social media. And I think that also can bring your morale down, just like scrolling and watching other people post. And also, sometimes people be lying and they don't be having that much fun and doing all that stuff too. So you don't want to get caught up in that like web of like, look at them and not me. So
yeah. Yeah. Because again, it's about appreciating where you are right now, appreciating that you have life in itself is a blessing. So it doesn't have to be something grandiose where you see folks like, I'm in Dubai right now riding a camel, like
exactly. Okay.
But don't get hyper focused on what you see because sometimes what you see is not reality.
Exactly.
It's a manifestation of what someone wants and hopes and dreams, and that's okay. Yes. It's okay to have
that's okay too. But yeah, exactly. Don't get caught up in that little cycle. It's toxic. So yeah. I would say those are things to keep in mind.
Yeah. And I love that do-it-yourself project because again, that just ties back into what we said earlier, that you could use that as for a gift, for whatever it is. Like I know I have an aunt that loves to sew and she makes beautiful pillows and things like that. And that's something that you can give as a gift. So I have no sewing skills, by the way. I suck.
We should probably take some classes. I've been wanting to take some like trade classes, do something creative.
Yeah, but what a girl can do is cook. So
look at how she switched up.
Let's just. But
what a girl can do.
Okay, let's highlight those. Let me tell you something, tippers. Never be afraid to highlight your strengths. That's important. Okay.
I love it. First of all, when am I going to get invited back? Because the last time I got gamed. Okay, the system gamed me.
Where you want to get invited back to?
I don't know. So I need to taste some cooking, some good vibes. Something. Shoot.
Okay. Well, I am going to see you in Atlanta in a few months.
True.
I'll come to your house. I'll cook your favorite meal in your house. How does that sound?
Wow.
That's big time.
Pull up on me.
What are some other things around the holidays that you think it's helpful to share or give advice on? Do you think people may use a little support? So we talked about, if the budget is tight. We talked about sometimes it's your first time being without a loved one. Yeah. What about, this is a good one too, because companies are experiencing this across the globe, is around this time of the year, companies are preparing ahead for the following year. So they may make some budget cuts that is inclusive of maybe tighten the belt a little bit where you don't have as much money as you've done before. You'll see companies who have hiring freezes and are really not looking to fill positions at the end of the year or sometimes even in January as well. Then you have some companies that have to make the hard decision on doing some layoffs, which is never great. It's tough. We recently announced a RIF that we had to do internally, and it's tough. And I'm working with our teams to support those who have been separated. But there are people who have lost jobs, and that's tough during this time of year. So, a few things that you can do is never underestimate the power of your network. That is huge. I know Shea and I talked about networking all the time. Shea is masterful at networking, better than I am. I'm not, even though I'm in HR, it's in my space. I'm kind of like practice what you preach type of girl.
You're just weary of people. That's
I can have a lot of advice about how to do it, but actually doing it is tough. But right now, in order to get jobs, it's hard to blindly apply for a job and expect to get called. Oftentimes it feels like your resume is going in that dark black hole that you never hear anything. It's kind of like you submit your application and you never hear anything.
Yeah.
I would tell you right now, if that's you and if your organization has gave you some type of severance, that's great. but please don't rely on that severance. Please hit the grind, hit the ground hard, and start to network and start having a plan to think ahead. Ask for meet and greets, ask for a Teams call or a Zoom call. If it's local, recommend taking someone in your network out to even for coffee at Starbucks, but networking. Figure out who your target companies are and look and see who's your network on LinkedIn so that you can begin to facilitate some conversations about open positions and what you're good at. Use headhunters that, for depending on what you do and your level, but there are people who find jobs for you and they get paid and they're good at it. So you want to not put all your eggs in one basket. You definitely want to diversify how you're applying for jobs and what you're doing to get a job. So just make sure that you put your feelers out there and don't be afraid to do something different as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. And also, there's remote things you can do too. You can create digital products online. You can sell digital products. You can create online courses. If you have a specific skill set or a knowledge that you want to share with people that helps people get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
I think those are a lot of things that are really cool too. And you can literally Google and look on TikTok. You can look on Instagram. There's plenty of coaches out there who teach people how to create online courses and write digital books and things like that. In the meantime, I think diversifying where you're putting your energy is very important because you never know where a lead can come from. To T's point, I do take networking very seriously, but I also take manifesting very seriously. So if you're networking and manifesting, meaning diversifying where you're putting your energy,
absolutely,
and you're being transparent, I think you'll generate tons of leads in areas you may not have thought about. And I also know when your back is against the wall, you have a little bit more oomph and a little pep in your step when it comes to trying to make something happen. So the universe will conspire for your greatest good. You just got to continue to put out that energy. And then if you let's say you don't have to create a digital course and have to have this huge following, you can create little short videos, 10-second videos, just saying, hey, check out my digital book or check out my digital product. Here's a link. You can link that in Instagram. If you're only an Instagram user, Facebook is really good for that too, because it's an older audience, more people who buy things.
Yes.
On Facebook, hit me up if you need any more details when it comes to that stuff. I need to take my own advice because I have so many things I want to do. But there's things you can do in the physical, but also in the digital space too, to try to help you generate some different leads.
And I know there are some of you out there who have that burning desire of starting your own business. And if you have been impacted recently by losing your position was eliminated and now you are back in the market, tap into that. This now's your opportunity to maybe, now that, Shea mentioned your back is against the wall, you're more inclined to put a little bit more rigor and time into it than what you've done before. But maybe this is your opportunity. Your opportunity is knocking that says, come and explore and maybe put your mindset on building out whatever it is that you want to do in terms of entrepreneurship. Like, this is your lane, this is your time, and there's no time like the present. So let's get grinding and get out there. I was talking to someone the other day and she recently lost her job, and she didn't really love her job anyway. It was just a paycheck, but paychecks matter. They help pay the bills. And she said, you know what, T, I just love to cook. I said, listen, how many people want to get holidays catered? And now's your opportunity. Go out there and start, letting people know. And, maybe she wanted to be a private chef and start knocking on some doors, letting people know what you do. Maybe invite some friends over and let them know, how they have listening parties for folks who are putting out albums. Have a tasting party where you invite friends and family over and they taste some of your food. Hey, I'm catering, let them know what you're doing. It's definitely the time. I said, let me tell you something. It's definitely your opportunity right now to start your catering business. And, she texted me last night, T, I love you. I just landed my first catering contract, 25 grand for, she needs to hire some other people because it's a big event that she's doing. But just think about it. She was in her house, upset about, so hyper focused on that job. I'm like,
And what's it called now? Does she have a name of her business?
Yeah, she's trying to figure out. I'm gonna, you know what? I'll say great question. I'll share it out.
Okay,
and I'll
good.
put it in our chat. Like I'll put it on our Instagram. So that way you guys can see and go out and support her. She's in the Philadelphia area. So I'll definitely share out her information and her contact information. And she's right now working on her website. So I think that's a perfect opportunity for us to share her website out so people can go check her out. Her food is so good.
And it's so crazy that you say that. And the reason why I ask is because my friend also started the same thing. She was going through a hard time. She dissolved her business. She worked with athletes, but she was very overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And it was just too much for her. And she wanted to spend more time with her sons. So she ended up, because she loves to cook too, she cooks amazing food for me, for Nafis.
Love.
Her name is Melissa LaCorte. She has a business called, I know, right? It's called Lifestyle Architect Meal Prep. And now she meal preps for like the Dallas Cowboys and like so many other people. And they love her food. And literally from that one thing, like just planting a seed, she now has a huge business. And so it's just kind of crazy. So I think that's a good sign. If you have something that you want to start and you're in between, or you have been laid off, or the holidays just don't really feel like a holiday and you're just by yourself, now is the time to start learning something or investing in yourself.
Yeah. So listen, tippers, we hope that you found that information to be helpful. But I love this village, this family, this network that we have together as being part of the Tippers family. So it just doesn't stop with information from either me or Shea, right? Like, please share out if you have other tips that you have, or other ways that even if you have learned or experienced something and you did something to brighten your holidays, or something you may have struggled with that you as a lesson learned from last year, like, let's share out. Let our journey, our Tippers community be a place of what Shea and I mentioned from the very beginning, of supporting one another. Like, we're on this journey called life together. So please, if you have any tips, any ideas, please reach out to us on our Instagram. I'm at Tania L. Rivers. Shea, what's your handle?
Oh, just LaShayla, Lesheala.
Just LaShayla. Or Tipping the Scales. You can find us there too.
On Tipping the Scales podcast on IG. But I also just want to shout out to our tippers. We literally have been growing 10x. So whatever you guys have been doing, sharing,
it works.
Listening, tweeting, reposting, it is growing. Our community is growing. Our listeners are growing. Our downloads are growing. We're at 702 people on Instagram.
Yay.
And it's a very engaged community. In the last post that we just posted, when T was going in talking about being able to forgive but not being able to forget, was a really good one. People left books on there. Continue to show out for us. T, keep doing your thing. Like, you be preaching.
Well, thank you. Like, so I agree. Thank you, tippers. But thank you, Shea. Like, we are in this together. Man. I remember that first phone call that you made almost more than a year ago now.
More than a year ago.
Right? When you said, T, what do you think about doing a podcast together? And I was like, oh my God, Shea, I wanted to do this so long. Blah, 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 blah. It was amazing. So there's so much content, guys. I know I talk about this all the time, but it just means the world to me to open up a little bit more. And for those of you who have been on this journey with Shea and I, you know that from where we started to where we are, it's crazy. I'm still having technological issues. That's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother pod, another episode. However, what I've learned and what has happened for me in this total transformation is being more open, just sharing out. Like, I was so closed when I started. Now sometimes I'm being called out for oversharing for certain people. I said, like, shut up. Everyone's scared to say, like they don't want to upset me. Like, he's going to air you out in her podcast.
Yeah, that's what. We will.
But thank you guys for just your support. And please, if you haven't done so already, go check out our library. It's growing. We have I think 90 episodes?
98?
Is it
92? 92.
Okay. 92. I know it's
we're not that close.
I know we're getting close to the 100 mark.
Yeah, we're getting close, but no.
But the fact is there's so much content out there that we've shared, and you going back and listening to previous episodes, it's getting to know us a little bit more, getting to see different things, getting to hear some amazing folks that's been on our podcast. So, and the journey isn't over, folks. Like, we're going to continue to do this, tippers. And thank you just for being on this journey with us.
Love you.
Bye. Happy holidays. See ya.